Welcome to the first client class, I guess you could say. Meal Prep 101, this is what we're gonna do. I have the slides pulled up here. I made a PowerPoint, so you have something to kind of watch and maybe take notes on as we go through this. So I'm gonna record this and just put the slides up on the screen so you can listen to me as you're looking at the slides. And also, if you need to pause it at any time, go ahead to write something down and catch up. But I don't know how long this will be. We'll just go with it. And yeah, let's just hop right into it. Meal Prep 101. I'm super excited for this because a lot of people complicate things a little too much. They think you have to prep absolutely everything for the week. It can't be simple. Even though there are some extremely easy ways to make sure you're on point with your meals. So what's the agenda? What we got here is, the basic definition of meal prepping, what I would call it. Then the 5 types of meal prepping, determining the best type of for you. At the end, I'll have a bunch of questions written down that you'll ask yourself, and you'll be able to kind of determine which method might work best for you based on your answers. And then finally after that, I'll just give you some final tips which will help you out. What is meal prepping? Well, the process of preparing meals ahead of schedule, as you would assume, whether that's one meal, whether it's absolutely every calorie of your day, whether it's just a beverage or going grocery shopping. So let's get into the different types. Phone eats first. These are in order by the least work needed to do up front. The least time consuming right up front. So phone eats first, that's the quickest method up front. Uncooked, single ingredient, single meal, and full day. So the first method, phone eats first. This is very simple. All you're doing is going into MyFitnessPal. If you're laying in bed the night before, going to MyFitnessPal, just track everything that based on your groceries that you have, or like even if you already have some sort of meal prepped, you should just make it a habit of tracking it the night before, so then you can not have to worry about tracking the next day. You just have it already tracked, and then if you do need to make adjustments, you really can, and you're just not going to have to be on your phone during the day all that often, which is super convenient. And if you know you're going to be going out to eat the next day, you can find, if it's a chain restaurant, you can always find all of their menu items on MyFitnessPal. But if you're going to like a local shop, like let's say you're going to a local sub shop, sandwich shop, they usually have their menu online at least, so you can at least see what they have to offer. So if you're gonna get like a 6-inch club sub, you just go to look up Subway on MyFitnessPal and type in 6-inch club, and then add the club sandwich from Subway, and it'll get you close enough. You don't need to be calorie for calorie, protein for protein, carb for carb, fat for fat, like on the dot. That's one thing that people stress out a little bit too much about. Even though you're not necessarily making any food or putting anything in Tupperwares or anything like that, you're still preparing. So it is food prep. So you do have structure and you know what you're going to be having the next day. And if you have it already all tracked in your phone, you don't have to be going into MyFitnessPal the next day to track it. All right, next one, we got Uncooked. This is one that people don't really ever think of. I never really thought of it until probably about a year ago. So what you do, you don't necessarily have to freeze it or anything, but that's a good way to go about it. So it's simply just weighing out raw ingredients in advance, and you separate it into containers or like Ziploc bags, and then you can freeze it. You could put it in the fridge, or even if it's dry ingredients like oats, you could put it in a Tupperware, like overnight oats, let's say. You would like mix together the oats, maybe chia seeds, protein powder in there too. Just all the dry ingredients that you can leave out on the counter, whatever, and just shake it up. So those are already mixed up, and then all you have to do is add like milk to that, or water, and then fruit. And then also my favorite food to prepare like this, and I always throw it in the freezer though, it's chicken breast, because you can buy the massive thing of chicken breast for $2 a pound, and you get like 5 or 6 pounds worth. Like, I'm not gonna prep all of that at once, so what I do is I'll probably cook three pounds of it to save for the week, so I get 8 ounces per meal for 6 days. And then the leftovers, I'll weigh it out, and then I'll put 8 ounces into each bag, cut it up and freeze it, and then write 8 ounces on the bag. So then if I do want like a fresh thing of chicken for some random meal, I could just take it out of the freezer, let it thaw, and cook it fresh. This is probably the best way to make food most enjoyable all the time, because it's going to be fresh. Like if you can just cook up every meal fresh like that, it's great, but you know ahead of time how much you're getting, so you don't have to use the food scale all day, every day. If you already have it in the freezer or in the fridge and marked however many ounces it is, you can easily just add that in MyFitnessPal and go from there. Next, we got single ingredient. This is by far my favorite. I didn't start applying this until about last year either. It's just as it sounds. You're gonna just cook a big bulk amount of one ingredient, unseasoned. Like I usually do my crock pot chicken. If you've been following me on whatever, you've seen that I do my crock pot chicken. And what I do, I just throw 3 pounds in there, like I said earlier, 3 pounds, and then just let it cook for all day. And then I just shred it apart. Then I weigh it again, and then I distribute that weight into 6 different containers, and each one is considered 8 ounces raw chicken breast. And then throughout the week, I can be super creative with them. I can like turn it into chicken enchiladas, sesame chicken. That's if you haven't made my sesame chicken recipe yet, I recommend it. That's probably my favorite right now. Do that, do chicken tacos, you can do just chicken salads. Like the options are endless, and your variety throughout the week is amazing. I'm probably gonna just stick to that method for me. It works best for me personally, and it's probably the most common for like ingredients such as, well, just ingredients that take a long time to cook, like it says here. Like chicken, yeah, that's not, you have to cook that thoroughly, and it's not just gonna cook within 4 minutes like most things. Like eggs, I'd never prep eggs because you could cook those so quickly. Rice and potatoes, if you don't microwave them, they're gonna take a long time to cook. So yeah, that's my favorite method. I'm not gonna say that's the way you should do it, because it might not be right for you, but I recommend you try it out and see how it does go for you. Next, we got single meal. This is the most common. I would say people that work in the office, or they just need one meal. They have really tough time with one meal during a day. And the one thing with this, I stress that you make it convenient for what your job actually is. Like if you're like in the office, if you're working in an office job, you're probably gonna have a microwave. So will that meal warm up well in the microwave? Your single meal prep should be a meal that you know that you already like as leftovers. And if you have a job that you're traveling quite a bit and not have access to a microwave at all times during the day, so for you it makes sense just to, you can like make a sandwich. A sandwich is fine. Carbs are your bread, And then make sure you have like a lean meat, I would say. Deli meat's not the healthiest, but you could prepare your chicken in advance and you'd have bread as your carb, and then just have a lot of lettuce. Like lettuce on a sandwich with meat is fantastic if you ask me, but whatever you think tastes best as long as you track it. The last and final method is full day. This is what most people envision meal prepping is. They just think, because all these other fitness pages and YouTube videos, they just see their whole table's just covered and prepared. Like, yeah, it looks cool and everything, it's organized, but it's probably the least realistic method, because people have lives other than just prepping meals and working out. And I try to be as realistic as possible about that. So obviously this method's gonna be the most time consuming. And if you do have multiple hours on Sunday to do it, you can try it out, go for it. The coolest part is probably only having to track macros once per week. Because you'll probably track it as you're prepping it, and then you'll know if you're eating that exact same thing every day, you only have to track it once. But if you actually want to go out for a beer or something during the week, or if you know you're gonna go out to eat with family or a friend like once that week, there's no reason to really prepare full day's worth. Let's move on from the types and let's determine what is best for you. Are you consistent with all of your meals except for maybe one? If that's the case, I would go with maybe just single meal prep, because it'll just organize that one meal that you usually have an issue with. And if you work from home, I'd say if you do the single ingredient method, I'm not gonna get over that. That's my absolute favorite, and I'm gonna keep saying that. And I recommend you at least try it. And if you're going out to eat often, definitely implement phone eats first. If you're not implementing that, it's gonna be tough. I guess you could still, after you sit down at the restaurant, you could still look it up, try to figure it out, but still as the waitress is coming back and forth, it's gonna be hard to decide right away, but you could at least still make a smart choice. But yeah, I think you can probably get the gist of which method will work best for you personally based on your lifestyle. Because I know like the method I use or somebody else uses might not work the greatest for another, because we just have different lifestyles. So yeah, try out the one that sounds best for you, and we can definitely combine a few of them too, such as phone eats first. I recommend you do that no matter what. Track the night before. That's in my tips here. Let's get to tips. Track everything. I'll add that in there. Track everything the night before, or the majority. It doesn't have to be everything, just the majority, so you have a structure. And if you're not using a food scale, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure, because you don't really know exactly how much you're getting. And if you're weighing something out, or if you're measuring something out with a measuring cup's not very accurate. They're like they can be 25% off. And that'll add up throughout the day if you're using it quite often. Choose recipes you already know you enjoy, something that you know will warm up well in the microwave if you know the microwave is gonna be your method of heating it up. Keep your recipes simple. 4 ingredients, that's absolutely perfect. And then getting creative with condiments and seasonings with that is what will make something flavorful and delicious. Then combination of veggies. So if you're just having a big pile of broccoli, I know the flavors can get old awfully quick, so maybe you mix in zucchini and broccoli together, or cauliflower and broccoli. Just change it up, do half-half. They have about the same macros. If you're trying to track veggies and be super on point with tracking veggies, you're wasting a lot of time, because just a cup of veggies is basically 20 calories, depending on the veggie, but they're not gonna be that different. Like broccoli and cauliflower macros They're probably a tiny bit different, but it's not going to be a big enough difference to where you should weigh them out both and track them both, because they're so low calorie and they're healthy. You're getting your fiber in, which is great. Then, like I said, get creative with seasoning and condiments here. I'll post, I'll write down my favorite ones down below. I'll add them in the description so you guys can get kind of an idea of what you could try out. And then also schedule when you'll prep. Most of the time people do it on Sundays because they work Monday through Friday, so they'll prep on Monday and then they're good, or prep Sunday and then they're good to go for 5 days. And if you're not using my recipe book, you are missing out. I'm just saying, it is free on my website. Just go make your account and utilize it. Those foods are awesome. Maybe I'm being biased, but I think they're pretty great for what they are. So yeah, that's that. If you have questions, just comment them below, message me, and I hope this was helpful. That's all I can say about it. And just have a damn good day. Go out there, get your workouts in, have your meals prepped, and keep your life structured, and you'll see results. Trust me on that. See you guys. Love ya.